my expertise in crashes comes from the automotive world. You know, I could reconstruct an automotive crash. You
Right.
start talking a race car crash. Luckily, I have not had the opportunity to reconstruct one. But looking at it there, I mean, and in that picture where he lands, I mean,
Upside down. He's on the
upside
roof.
down on his lid. That picture scares me. I've seen that.
Mhm.
I've seen that in person.
Because now,
That scares me right there.
with landing on the back tail, it could have ruptured fuel lines. It could have punctured the fuel cell. How much fuel's in the car? He's shaking it down. It's hot laps. He's getting ready to go out for
you're thinking this guy's running a 1100 horsepower motor, so it's
probably an alcohol.
no.
No, they race fuel?
Oh, that's gonna with that much compression, it's gonna easily be 116 octane.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
easily 116 octane. So he's running super high Zook late model fuel in something like that. And he's probably got 22 gallons on board at least. Actually, I'll back that off. If he's in hot laps, he's easily got 15 gallons in there.
For burn off. Just see what the car's going to do?
It's a possibility. if I were running it, I'd run 15 gallons in there for hot laps.
Especially on a heavy track the way it is. The way it looks like right there.
Exactly.
So that's just getting back to this injury and stuff. This hospital's only seen 3 other cases like this. So
No, 3 including his.
Okay, so a total of 3.
3. So they've seen 2 out of on-road automobile accidents, and now Jared out of a race car.
Okay, so my next question now is that further down in the article, he's now sidelined.
He is sidelined indefinitely. You know, his dad being the team owner.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to be an interesting relationship. I mean, I know how drivers can be. I've been around enough of them over the years. But Lance sidelined him. Timeout, kid. I value your life more than
this race car. Absolutely.
I mean, he's been racing for 17 years. He's got a wife. He's got kids. It's a great move to sideline him. And I don't think Jared fought him on it. I really don't. But sideline him indefinitely, excuse me. But the best part is that there is hope out there. In the press release, Lance went on to say they said the healing process is good. They've noticed the skin and tissue is healing because the blood was pushing back on those to where they weren't supposed to be. So it sounds like there was a little bit of internal bleeding, and now it's starting to get covered up. They're going to bring him back in for a CT scan in 3 weeks or so, but at a minimum, he's out for 6. But
6 weeks or 6 months?
6 weeks at a minimum. The earliest they're saying he could be back in behind the wheel of the 777 Bloomquist
Probably next year.
is Knoxville Nationals.
Oh, wow.
Now you got to think, guy was 3rd in points.
Yeah.
This is where the story takes a turn. The racing community is like a family. You know, when I was on here a month ago, Corey and I were sitting here discussing an incident we had at Willamette with Terry Hall.
Right.
The racing community is family, and I listened to that interview last night, just remembering all those pieces of that puzzle. Because coming in and talking about this, I want to have that in my mind as well. Terry, when he was at the ER, he said that when he came out, the ER waiting room was full of people from the racetrack, other racers, track officials, safety crew, his own crew, other drivers. That Lebanon Community Hospital was full of racers, and he came out and saw them, and he was just elated to the fact that there's all these people from the track, guys that I've rubbed paint with, guys I've traded or rubbed doors with, guys I've traded paint with. They're there supporting me. They're there and they're concerned. Now this is where, even in the professional circuit, these drivers take care of their own.
Uh-huh.
So they went on, and by agreement, the majority of 10 drivers with perfect attendance in the Lucas Oil Series agreed that Landers, even though he's sidelined, will receive 75 hardship points for any race he misses until he's medically cleared.
That's amazing.
So every race that he's sat out, he's still collecting 75 points.
That's
In the
amazing.
series. That to me is the true meaning of dirt track racing right there.
Absolutely.
Even
I
though he's
I don't. I mean,
sidelined.
that gives me goosebumps and stuff because
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, you talk about the camaraderie, in our sport. With dirt racing and everything else, and even from the younger kids and stuff that race up there at Deming that come down to our track, and and looking at some of these young kids that are coming up in this sport, and then you look at Landers and stuff, and then you look at some of the ones that have passed away
Hmm.
because of injury. That there right there shows uh, why we love our sport, why we do our sport, is just because of dirt racing has a total different aspect than asphalt or anything else.
Hmm.
I mean, we used to do asphalt racing, Portland Speedway, Tri Cities, South Sound. I used to be part of that group and everything else, but I've always been a dirt track person. That's just how I am.
Hmm.
The family base, like you say, is just so much there than you have asphalt racing.
Well, and that's the thing too. And I agree with you 100%. The family camaraderie that is there. I mean, I've worked with Matthew now. This is my fourth season with him. The camaraderie. I mean, there's a group of us at the track every night after the races. We all sit down and share a meal.
Right.
In the off season, we'll get together and go to Sycart or get together at somebody's house and
That's what
have
I'm
a Christmas
saying.
party. I mean, you've been a part of a Sycart trip.
Yeah, I have.
Um, and then there's the little things. Like we were down at Cottage Grove one Saturday racing, pitted next to another guy from Lebanon. We're out there and we're like, well, I guess these are the tires we're going to run. And and that's the thing about Matthew and racing with Matthew is we don't get freebies. We don't get hand-me-downs from the business
Right.
at all. Everything that goes on that car comes out of Matthew's pocket or my pocket. So we were sitting there, and another racer sits there and goes, "What do you mean?" And I'm like, "Well, these are the only tires we got, dude. We're kind of stuck. We're gonna run them. We're gonna go out there and be fast. We don't care. We're gonna go turn some laps." Well, he sits there and goes, goes up and goes up to his tire rack, yells at us, "Hey, what backspacing are you using?" We tell him. Goes up and he goes, "Well, I've got a XYZ inch tire on a beadlock. Here you go. Run it." Wait, what?
Now, was he running in your same class?
Same class.
Do you want
One
to
of
say
our
who it is?
competitors. Oh, this guy knows who he is.
But see, right there, that right there is why racing is the way it is in the dirt set.
And the thing too is, we went out there and he sat there and he goes, "You're gonna beat me. Go out there and run it. Go out there and win it." Well, we ended up falling in right behind him in the finishing order, but still, some of the best racing ever. We're going back and forth, slide job,
Right.
kind of, John Campos, Colin Weinbarger-esque,
Type deal, yeah.
trading spots every corner, even twice in a corner. Door panel, going down the backstretch, and then coming in, slide jobbing around 3 and 4, and then right at the doors on the flag stand. But it's that type of stuff that makes dirt track racing what it is. The family camaraderie. I mean, where else? I mean, you get to hang out. You get to hang out with these guys six months out of the year,
Right.
on your weekends. You turn into a family.
You do. I mean, you race hard and on Saturdays and get mad on the end of the night, and then come Monday morning, you guys are calling and wanting to know what is it going to take to get you out, to get you back out there.
Exactly.
And I mean, racing hard, racing side by side, racing hard. Some people last week didn't like some of my comments about how, my personal feeling. And again, I'm not the person who's going to sit there and hold any favoritism. It doesn't matter who you are. There is absolutely zero favoritism and stuff when I come out and when we do this show. We just got a text, or actually a post from I think it's OTTO Baldwin, picture under the +6. He's talking about the one on our Moxie page where it's basically the car sideways on the driver's side. His comment says, "If the belt's not tight, could have moved up in the seat, and the Hans could go under the headrest." And that's absolutely true. I mean, that could be something that could have happened. Did it happen? Who knows? I'm sure Hans is going to fully investigate this, especially if the media or if somebody's sitting there stating that this product that's supposed to help save lives and help, not cause injury, I'm sure they have their team fully involved in trying to make sure what this is. If it happens to be because of driver fail or something else, I'm sure it's going to be sought out also. But it just kind of concerns me on how he could go and see 3 different doctors and then on the 4th one find out that he actually has an injury. That's just crazy.
It concerns me too, Josh. It really does. I think that, in my opinion, from what I've seen, each doctor is going to have a different point of view. And like we talked about last week when I popped in and crashed the party.
That was actually kind of cool. I was kind of odd.
It's a matter of perspective. It really is. I mean, you're going to have, in that situation, you've got 12 different people with 12 different perspectives. It's going to happen. You're going to miss some things. I mean,
no, absolutely. And I agree.
I've had doctors miss things on me.
Well,
it happens.
Yeah, we know.
Hey.
But, I mean, it's, we got some text messages in and stuff stating, yeah, we have. We've been there, we've done that. Was it the best idea? No, it wasn't. A couple other people, anonymous, not going to say their names, go out there and will not get into a car without fully being ready to have a green flag thrown at any time. As we know, you could go out there for mud in, for hot laps, and all of a sudden the flagger says, you know what, I get the word from the race director or someone or for whoever, and all of a sudden, hey, let's go green real quick. Let's get some, temperature on the track. Let's do whatever. If you're on the backstretch, you can't, like at Willamette Speedway. So you come out of turn 2, right? Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, Jeremy says, you know what, over the race receivers, hey, we're going to go green. Boom, you guys are going green. Are you going to sit there and try to fumble with all your seatbelts? No. You're really not. You're going to hope and pray that you are out there prepared and ready at any single time. You don't go out there in, as like, say, infantry, military. You don't go out there without your Kevlar vest, without your Kevlar, without your cover, without your weapon or whatever like that, and just go out and walk in the jungle and sit there and say, anybody out here? Huh? Okay. Oh, well, I guess I should go back and get my stuff.
Makes no sense.
None. You have to be prepared any single time that you sit in that seat, and if that car is going onto the track, regardless for whatever reason, you should be prepared for anything.
You're going into battle. You're battling for that checkered flag.
Right. And I like my
Yeah, that soundboard, I think, coming from your mouth.
That sounds good.
I think the one on the computer is a little bit better.
if I can get that thing to work. We're having
I still think it's better.
I do too. I only know how. Let me see if I can even.
Nope.
No, I think it does. I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, if you guys can hear it, then that's cool. If not, then we can't hear it on our side. Maybe I need to update. But
I think it needs to back off the Perrier.
Listen to this. This is Corey's rum or whatever. It still smells bad.
I still can't figure it out. How do you get Perrier
at a Perrier?
There's an extra R at the end that nobody's pronouncing. I don't get it. How can an R just disappear?
Well, it's like Mark Farah, right?
Yeah.
He spells his name, and it's like I still want to call it Ferrara, but it's just that I had some difficulties when it came to some names this year, and I've hopefully got to it by
It's your rookie season. You still got the yellow stripe on your back.
Oh, it's bad sometimes. It's bad, but you know what?
Oh, jeez, Josh.
I love it though. But let's with everything said, we hope him for a speedy recovery. It's just one of those things that you hate to see for any driver, for anywhere, especially when it comes to the professionalism that he's in. He's not a weekly racer. He's not a weekend warrior. He's a day-to-day, track-to-track, paid, 100% paid driver, professional. These type of things should not happen.
Exactly.
But, You
They
know,
do.
like you said, we're all human beings. We all make those mistakes. Is it something that we all can learn from? You, me,
I think everybody can learn
listeners,
from this.
drivers, all that.